got a really good game going on now. Um, we've got this snowman trick in the way. We've got our second level. Um, we make our car set on fire, and we can just keep developing it. Some small tweaks we might like to do at this stage would be maybe that once we've touched the car and we reset the car, wouldn't it be nice if we set the snowman back to the centre of the screen and just told him to wait a second before he goes and starts moving again? Possibly might be nice. I'm just going to make him move back to the centre of the screen for now. So I'm just going to tell him to go to his current location, which I think will do our job fine for now. But as a more important next step, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a little booster so that we could have something where if I got it, then the snowman would slow down for a little while, which would just help me out possibly. So to do that, we're going to go and create a new sprite. And this sprite I'm going to do really simple. I'm just going to go and create, I don't know, what should a booster look like? Maybe a blue circle on the outside. And I'll have a light blue on the inside. Yeah, that way it'll look a bit like ice, and maybe it will just freeze the snowman temporarily. Or maybe we'll just slow it down. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So that's going to be my bonus to pick up. We'll just shrink that down so it's a little bit smaller. And I'll go and put that bonus in this location to start with. So on this one I could say forever if the car is touching that blue. So when clicked, forever if, we're getting used to these blocks now, the car is touching the blue. Well, actually, because I'm on the blue, I need to see if the blue is touching the car. So let's do that. Sensing, see if the blue is touching the car. Then what would I like to do? Well, I'd like to slow the snowman. How am I going to do that? Because at the moment, if we go to our snowman, it just says here that we move him 10 steps at a time. Well, instead of moving him 10 steps at a time, we could actually use a variable here. Now remember, variables are things that are really useful because we can change them as the game progresses. So I'm going to go and make a new variable now, and I'm going to make this variable and I'm going to call it snowman speed. So you can notice I've got a second variable now, and instead of telling him to move 10 steps each time, why don't we tell him to always move whatever snowman speed is? So now, rather than it move 10 steps at a time, it will move whatever the variable says. Now our variable at the moment says 0. So just to test out what happens when our variable says 0, you'll notice that the man doesn't really move very much at all. So what about if I change the speed to 1? Well, let's just double click on the snowman speed variable and I can just drag that as a test. Well, 1 makes him move slowly. 3 makes him move 3 steps each time, so it's moving faster, and we can make him move ridiculously fast, and it ends up looking a bit ridiculous and not really working. So what we probably want to do is when we start our game, set snowman speed to something reasonably fair. So why don't we set him to, like, I don't know, 5. So again, where's our bit that said whenever we start the game? Oh, that's in here. So we set laps to 0. Let's go and set our snowman speed as well. So we'll set our snowman speed. Move that block out the way. Set snowman speed. We don't want it to be 0, we want him to move. So we set snowman speed to, I don't know, let's do 5. So if we hit the green flag, we should see him move 5 steps at a time. We do notice actually that the problem is he keeps hitting my car at the moment. So maybe we could think of other ways to resolve that, but I think as long as the user moves off quickly, we won't have too much of a problem there. So we haven't done much else with this blue dot at the moment, so let's go and see what we can do there. So on our sprite 2, which I suppose we should really call, I don't know, freeze, because this is going to be the thing that slows down our snowman. So forever if we're touching the car, so if this blue dot is touching the car, then let's set not lap, but the snowman speed to 1. That'll slow him right down. And then once we've set it to 1, we'll probably need it to go back up again, but let's just test to see if that works. So I'm driving around. If I hit the blue, hopefully he'll slow down. And sure enough, he slowed down. If we hit the green flag to start the game again, it should reset the speed of the snowman, which it is doing. So I don't like that the boost stays there as well. So forever if I'm touching, well, we'll come back to that in a minute, but forever if I'm touching the snowman, well, how about we tell it to wait 5 seconds and then the speed goes back to normal, wait 2 seconds. So wait for, I don't know, 3 seconds, and then we'll set the speed back to its normal speed. So we're going to go and set, not the lap, we want to set the snowman speed to back to 5, which is the normal speed. So it should slow down for 3 seconds, and then it will set it back to normal, and then it will keep checking to see if we're touching the blue dot again, or the blue dot's touching the car, I mean. So it should slow down, 3 seconds, and then sure enough it starts up again. Well, also, I don't think it's good that our blue dot appears and just stays there so we can keep going over that every time we go around the track. Why don't we say, once we've got the blue dot, we'll hide the blue dot. So this is something new now. If we're going to change the blue dot so we can't see it, we're actually changing its looks to make it invisible. So I'm going to go to looks and say, well, I want you to hide. So when we're touching, when the blue dot touches the car, we'll hide the blue dot. So it's going to hide itself. It will change the speed for 3 seconds, then it will reappear, and then should we tell it to wait another 5 seconds before it appears again? So maybe wait 5, 10, 20 seconds, and then we'll tell it to show again. So it should be a total of 8 seconds. So if the blue dot touches the car, it hides. We'll slow down the snowman for 3 seconds, wait for 3 seconds. We'll set the snowman speed back to normal, and then 5 seconds later, we'll show the blue dot again. Let's just test that out. Okay. So we've got the snowman moving. Let's slow down the snowman. Oh, the blue dot disappeared. 3 seconds, the snowman went faster, and after 5 seconds, the blue dot comes back, and we can slow him down again. So now we've got a bonus that will disappear and reappear. It's getting to be quite a complex game now, which is working quite well. Why don't you have another one that they maybe have to avoid, where you have a red one which speeds him up possibly, or maybe we could have something that speeds up the speed of the car. All sorts of ideas that you can really go to extend with now, but I think this has given you so far a lot of the steps and the building blocks that you can do. I'd encourage you at this stage to really go through and look at the different blocks and see what else you can do, but there's some really clever stuff that you can do, and that's quite fun to have a go with.